This cat body language means they are trying to tell you something important. Have you ever caught your cat doing something odd? Maybe tilting their head, curling their paws just so, or making a weird silent meow, and wondered, is that supposed to mean something? Well, the answer is yes. Cats are constantly speaking, just not in our language. And sometimes their most subtle body language is trying to tell you something important, something easy to miss if you're not paying close attention. Today, we're diving deep into the secret signals your cat uses to communicate crucial things they want you to know. And number 1 will make you rethink every random thing your cat's ever done. Let's decode the silent messages, starting from the top. 20. The paw curl pause. When your cat sits or lays down and curls their front paws tightly under their body, it might look like they're just getting cozy. But the tightness and stillness of this position isn't always about rest. This particular posture, often called the loaf, can actually be a defensive comfort position. If their paws are tucked tightly and their tail is hidden, they may be signaling that they don't feel fully secure in their environment. It's a middle ground between being alert and trying to self-soothe. In these moments, they're silently asking, is it safe here yet? Pay attention to where and when they do this. A shift in household energy, a new smell, or even a visiting guest can trigger this subtle, guarded loaf. 19. The stiff whisker hold. Whiskers aren't just decoration. They're highly sensitive, and your cat uses them like radar. But most cat owners miss one telling sign: when a cat holds their whiskers rigid and pushed slightly forward while remaining otherwise motionless. This isn't curiosity, it's anticipation. This frozen whisker stance often signals they're processing something confusing, possibly threatening, and waiting to see if it requires a response. It could be a new sound, a movement, or even the energy of a person entering the room. When your cat does this, it's not about what they're looking at, it's about what they're feeling, and they're watching you for cues. 18. The exaggerated head tilt with squint. You've probably seen dogs tilt their heads in curiosity, but cats do it too, though for very different reasons. When a cat tilts their head while squinting slightly, they're not trying to look cute. This is often a visual processing behavior paired with emotional uncertainty. They might be trying to match your tone of voice with your body language, especially if you're talking to them. It's like they're thinking, I hear love in your voice, but your hands are moving too fast. What are you really saying? It's a rare moment when they're truly trying to decipher your signals. Pay close attention, because that tilt is the closest thing to a cat asking a question. 17. The silent meow with no follow-up. Silent meows are often mistaken for cuteness or casual behavior, but if your cat mouths a meow without sound and doesn't blink, move, or look away afterward, it's not just affection. It's often a very specific emotional ask. In many cases, this is a non-vocal plea for help or reassurance. It might follow a loud sound you ignored, a sudden movement, or a visitor in the home. It's their way of testing if you're attuned to them without risking the energy of an actual cry. It's their whisper, meant only for someone they trust. 16. The shoulder blade flick. A movement so small it's easy to miss. Cats occasionally flick or ripple the muscles around their shoulder blades when they're processing overstimulation or preparing to flee. If you're petting them and they begin to twitch here, especially on both sides, it's not always a sign to stop, but a clear warning that something has shifted in their emotional state. They're not being playful, they're recalibrating their comfort levels. This shoulder flick is your one and only warning that they're either about to bolt or bite. 15. The tail hook hold. A tail that gently curves into the shape of a shepherd's crook and stays there, especially while your cat stands still, is not just neutral. This tail hook is often an emotional bookmark. It means your cat is holding space for a decision. They're not relaxed, not scared, but in a holding pattern, waiting to see how the moment will unfold. It can appear when they walk into a room after hearing a noise, or when someone new enters their environment. That little hook is a question mark made of fur. Don't miss it. 14. The reverse ear swivel. Everyone knows cats flick their ears when they hear a sound, but when one ear rotates backward and then holds, your cat is not just hearing, they're calculating. This reverse swivel usually means your cat heard something emotionally significant and is now trying to decide if that thing means danger or disruption. You'll often see this when the doorbell rings or when a box is opened. If that one ear goes back and stays, they're trying to isolate emotion in the sound. Let them. Don't interrupt. They're decoding the world on their terms. 13. The delayed pounce stance. When your cat crouches down, wiggles slightly, but then doesn't move forward, don't assume they lost interest. That hesitation is not indecision. It's strategy. Whether they're watching a toy, a shadow, or even you, that frozen crouch means they're building emotional context around the target. It's not about whether they can pounce, but whether they should. Your cat is evaluating risk, opportunity, and your attention. In this moment, they are calculating everything, and they want to know, Will you support me if I leap? 12. The hovering paw. It's subtle but powerful. If your cat lifts one paw slightly off the ground and holds it midair, not during grooming and not while walking, they're hesitating due to internal conflict. This posture says, I want to move forward, but I'm not sure it's safe. It can happen when you're offering something new, when they're considering a jump, or even during a quiet moment when you reach for them. That tiny lifted paw is an emotional micro-expression of doubt mixed with hope. Your next move determines whether they trust or retreat. 11. The rhythmic rib flare. The cats don't simply breathe. Sometimes they subtly flare their ribs in a slow, repeated rhythm, especially when lying down but alert. This isn't heavy breathing. It's a grounded emotional reset technique. Much like a person taking deep breaths during stress, your cat uses this to return to equilibrium. You might spot it after a loud noise, after guests leave, or even after a cuddle session they weren't sure about. It's not physical fatigue. It's emotional processing. Respect the moment. They're working through something, quietly. 10. The eyelid flutter followed by a freeze. It looks so ordinary. Your cat blinks slowly, then pauses mid-motion. But this combination, a soft eyelid flutter followed by a frozen stare, signals that your cat has taken in new information and needs time to evaluate. Maybe you moved differently. Maybe the lighting changed. Maybe you said something you don't realize carried weight. The flutter is them softening their senses. The freeze is them waiting to see if something else happens. In this moment, they're telling you, I felt that. What are you going to do next? 9. The slow sidestep approach. If your cat ever walks toward you, but angles their body sideways while keeping their eyes on you, they're not just being awkward. This diagonal movement is often a peaceful invitation. It's their way of saying, I want to come closer, but I'm leaving you space to reject me if you need to. It's subtle, emotional self-protection. Unlike a direct walk-up, which could feel confrontational, the sidestep allows them to test your vibe while keeping a respectful distance. If you meet their gaze gently or stay still, you're accepting their emotional olive branch. 8. The furrowed brow during petting. Yes, cats can frown. It's just more subtle than ours. If your cat's forehead appears to tighten slightly, or the fur between their eyes creases as you pet them, take note. They're not enjoying the touch the way you think they are. They may not swat, hiss, or leave, but that furrow is their quiet protest. It says, I want to be close to you, but I need a different kind of affection right now. Often, they want presence, not physical touch. You don't need to stop interacting, but you do need to listen to what their face is telling you. 7. The sudden grooming session mid-play. You're playing with your cat, things are going well, and suddenly, they stop to groom their shoulder or lick their paw. Most people assume it's a distraction or boredom, but this shift is a powerful, emotional, self-soothing ritual. Mid-play grooming means your cat just hit an invisible emotional ceiling, either overstimulation, anxiety, or even a moment of doubt. Grooming isn't about cleanliness in this moment. It's about recentering. They're grounding themselves. And what they're telling you is, give me a moment. I need to feel okay again. 6. The breath hold freeze. This one is eerie when you notice it. Your cat freezes, completely, and even seems to stop breathing for a second or two. No blink, no tail twitch, no paw flex. Just total stillness. This isn't just hunting focus. It's a full-body emotional alert. Something in the environment has triggered a deep instinct, one they haven't decided how to handle yet. It's not always fear. It could be sudden excitement, protective instinct, or the sensation of something unfamiliar. When your cat does this, they're silently screaming, don't move yet. I'm trying to understand everything. 5. The cling-withdraw cycle. Sometimes your cat runs to you, rubs against you, maybe even hops on your lap, and then just as quickly, jumps down or walks away. It feels inconsistent, confusing, but this pattern is not rejection. It's emotional whiplash. Your cat is navigating conflicted feelings about safety, vulnerability, and need. When they rush in and leave quickly, they're saying, I need comfort, but I'm scared of losing control. If this happens often, it may mean something in their environment is emotionally overwhelming. Your role isn't to chase, just to stay present. They'll return when they can handle closeness again. 4. The nostril flare followed by a yawn. When your cat sniffs the air, flares their nostrils slightly, then yawns. Don't dismiss it as a stretch or a lazy sniff. This pairing is actually a displacement behavior, an emotional reset after sensing something ambiguous. The scent they picked up could be emotionally confusing, and the yawn is their way of managing tension. Yawning isn't always about tiredness in cats. In these moments, they're saying, I smelled something I can't emotionally categorize, and I'm trying not to panic. It's a fascinating peek into how seriously they process scent. 3. The single ear twitch while being held. You're holding your cat or sitting beside them, and everything seems calm. until one ear twitches quickly to the side and then settles. This isn't just a sound reaction. That single flick is a micro-expression of emotional recalibration. Maybe you shifted your weight. Maybe your energy changed. Either way, your cat just noted it, processed it, and logged it. That flick is them saying, I'm still evaluating how safe this moment is. So if the other ear doesn't twitch too, it's not about noise, it's about you. 2. The sleep stretch shift. It's tempting to think a cat stretching while waking up is just a physical reflex, but pay attention to how they stretch. A deep, deliberate, slow stretch followed by a moment of stillness is an emotional gesture of security. If your cat stretches fully, showing their belly, extending their legs, yawning audibly, it means they feel safe. But if the stretch is quick, tight, or followed immediately by them repositioning away from you, they're signaling that something feels off, even in sleep. Cats don't let their guard down unless they trust the environment completely. 1. The blink withdraw blink. This is one of the most underrated, powerful, and complex forms of feline communication, and it's easy to miss. Your cat looks at you, slow blinks once, then looks away. You think the moment is over, but then they blink again while not looking at you. That second blink is not random, it's a coded message. The first blink is trust. The withdrawal is vulnerability. The second blink, done away from your gaze, is a request for emotional space without rejection. It's like they're saying, I trust you, but I'm overwhelmed. Don't take it personally. This blink withdraw blink sequence is often misunderstood as indifference, but it's actually one of the most honest forms of emotional communication cats offer. It's love, spoken in the language of silence. And there you have it. Those were the body language signs you don't want to miss. Curious for more insights? Discover the signs you are your cat's whole world, or learn about the small moments that make them feel abandoned. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more.